I've found my work more and more is about helping people find their voice.
Okay.
And one of the main things that takes people's voices away is when they're freaked out. When our nervous systems are running too hot, when we're freaking out, we can't actually tune into what our voice is. We can't tune into what we want to. And like that was my journey for myself. And now I find that that's what I'm helping people with.
Okay.
It's like sometimes where we came from is like also our dharma, what our work is. And when I work with people, that's a theme that just comes up again and again. It's just like when it's like, hey, I'm freaked out. I don't know what's going on. I'm
No, you're
stressed.
good. Thank you.
I'm stressed out.
Yeah.
And then in that shift, when people find that sense of calm, like calm is so important for us to be able to find our own voice, to speak, to feel confident that in experimenting, because so much of learning and growing is you've got to try stuff. You got to try stuff. And when we're afraid, we are so limited because we're only willing to do what we know what works. And oftentimes people are doing stuff that doesn't work. They're just doing stuff that they know. And they're so afraid of trying something new, trying the unknown. And that comes from that place of fear. We're trying to be safe. And so like when we can actually teach the nervous system, teach it down to like the cells that they're safe, they can actually start to do the things that are necessary to put their life in order. Because you can't put your life in order if you're just like trying to survive to the next moment.
That's true. That's true. So the value you're bringing to the world is to allow people a chance to reconnect with a balanced nervous system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Finding calm, like, you know, our nervous system naturally wants to go out of balance. You know, from anger, from our cell phones, from just like the natural flow, our nervous system likes to run hot. It's like, it's exciting, like go on the beach, run the massive waves. We love to run on the hot side. And bringing the nervous system down just has so many benefits, from mental health to cognitive function to physical health to like being able to feel rest and restored.
I agree. I would say, though, to take it a step further, that it doesn't like to be doing those things. It just is programmed to do those things. I don't think the nervous system wants to be in hot mode, fight or flight all the time. I think that we have, because of our thoughts and our patterns and our lifestyle and society and everything, that we have a lot of programs that are stacked on top of one another that are conditioning the nervous system to behave in such an erratic manner.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you could look to certain things that predispose people. It's like, oh, loneliness, disconnection. You know, like when we look at addiction, it's just like, it's meant to cover something else up. And so if there's something screaming at you, you can usually just have something that screams louder. That's usually people's solution, is you get something that yells louder instead of like, hey, let's answer the voice that's screaming. Like that's the true journey of like finding calm, is just like, oh wait, human beings need connections with one another, as opposed to like, I'm just going to watch that next TV show and forget about the loneliness.
All addictions, I feel, are a replacement of not having love in some form. Like whether it's TV or food or sex or drugs or thrills or gambling, or it doesn't matter. The millions of different addictions that exist out there are just different ways that we all feel like some kind of a void inside of us that's missing from like connection with other human beings, or most often ourselves first. And then the lack of love in some way, whether we're not expressing the love or feeling the love or giving the love or sharing the love, you know, it's like that would replace every addiction that we have. So I feel like that's the health journey, or the personal journey, the spiritual journey, the mental journey, the emotional journey, is getting back to a place to where you fill yourself with love and you fill yourself with the things that you need to feel alive and feel good. And then all these other addictions and everything, they start to fade away naturally because they don't have a place in your life anymore.
Now, my friend, what is the value you're bringing?
The awareness to be conscious, to be aware of being aware, to look at the world for what it is and realize that we have a lot of power and control within ourselves to manifest the destiny that we want, live the kind of life they want, be the kind of person we want. And the value that I want to remind people of, I'm not even really giving it. I think I'm just simply a person who's reminding somebody else as a mirror, like, hey, you have the power to be fully aware, fully conscious, to live your best life, to be your highest self, to embody whatever it is that you want to embody, health, wellness, wealth, anything. It's for the taking. It's waiting there in the quantum field for people to align with. So my value is knowing my value and reminding other people that I am no more valuable, but everybody has that same inherent value within them. By tapping into that, life's change. We all change because we no longer have addiction, right? We're not looking for something else. We're realizing our own value, and because of that, our life shifts, our field shifts, our consciousness shifts around the belief, the knowing that we have value.
We do have value.
We do. I feel that my life is simply to remember all the truth that I have forgotten. So the truth that I am my own doctor, I can holistically take care of myself, is a knowing. It's not a belief. I'm not convincing myself that I can take care of myself. I know I can. I know I can live a very holistic life. And because I take care of myself, I have more value for myself. But these are just things I'm remembering. So the more that we all choose to take time to be conscious and aware and remember these truths that are just forgotten, and we have mirrors around us and people in the world that inspire us that are like, hey, this dude's remembering this, or this person's embodying that. Like, I could do that too. That's the mirror. That's the level of awareness that I feel like maybe we're all searching for, but don't really have the words to explain it or the feelings to back it up yet. But I think within our consciousness, all of us are saying, I want to ascend to like this life that I kind of see in my dreams, the person that I want to be. It's the remembering, bringing the notion of that back into the self.
So how does that manifest in your life? I feel like as you were saying, it's like people to remember these rememberings that they can live the dream that they want to live. Like, how does that look in your life?
Well, I mean, we're on Maui right now. I mean, look around. This is one physical manifestation you and I can see and feel. Everybody watching can see and feel. I mean, it's literally around us. So, I mean, that was something through my younger years. I came here many times in my life, and I just knew this place was home. I just knew it. I felt it. Just felt like home. So, I had pictures of Maui in my offices, back when I was in college. I had, the trees, like the tea leaves, like stuff like this, fake plants in my house that looked like this. I wanted to feel in California, working as a DJ and a musician, running a recording studio, going to college, like working jobs, all the things I did. I didn't want to feel like I was in California. I wanted to feel like I was in Maui, in Hawaii. So I had decor around my house and like tiki torches in the backyard and like fake bamboo and stuff. And like I would go outside and I would get that energy and I get that vibration. So by embodying it and feeling it and putting little trinkets and, material things up in my house, like it made me feel that way. So naturally it was only a part of time before I arrived here. So I think that's how one way I've pulled stuff into my field and manifested things is the belief that it's true now, and taking action like putting up a fake plant or a piece of art to look at that and change your level of awareness, consciousness, and then feel like I'm not separate from the thing I want. Like what I want is already within me, whether it's to live somewhere or achieve something or be in some kind of relationship or have the dream gig that you want. It's whatever. It can all come to you if you allow it to come to you.
Yeah, I feel it's doing it. It's doing it and showing up. Like, if you want to be a DJ, start doing DJ stuff. If you want to start working with people, start working with people. It's just like, it's the growth of kind of stripping away all these different judgments that we'll put on something of like, well, I need to have this or this thing or this other thing, and just go for it. And like for me, like when I like doing interviews and doing things like this, I really enjoy this. And for a while I was just like videotaping myself on my own screen. It was just like that little thing of just like, as you said, the little trinkets and things all over the place. It's just like, oh wait, I can start doing the things that I want to do today. It's like that little piece, those little things that come together to create the experience that is so rich in life and just so exciting to be a part of.
It is. Rich is a good word. You know, you want to feel a connection to stuff, right? Like you want it to feel really real. And I like that by doing something, it doesn't have to be in front of 20,000 people. It doesn't have to get a million hits, you know, just recording a video to share your thoughts and to see yourself back afterwards. That's the process. I mean, I've written easily 1,000 songs in my life. I mean, I think I've released 6 at the most. And for years, I listened to many of those songs without feeling the need to put them out there in the world or anything. Like, I just made the music to create the music. So to this day, like when I create music, I don't, like if I decide to release it, if I decide to make content around it, great. But I'm not doing it for that. I do it because I like to make music and I like to create. That's where it starts, is just the desire to create for the act of creation, because it's like a joy. It's a passion, it's a love. So seeing yourself doing the video, you're present, you're doing the video, you're at a high state of consciousness, like you're happy, you're joyful, you're creating, you're in your zone. And then you get to reflect back on that and use that as inquiry and like a mirroring of yourself and grow through that. And then if you decide you want to take it further, you can. But I think the act of creation is really powerful and rich when we're doing it simply to do it, not with an expectation of it going somewhere, but just being creative because we're creative beings and we're supposed to be creating.
So you talked about music, and I think when we previously talked, you had a shift when you kind of like part of moving to Maui, but I think also a little bit before that is you shifted your music from purely an entertainment vehicle to now a
more conscious vehicle, more healing, high vibrational vehicle. Yeah, I got my start really, really early in life. Like my school had like mandatory musicals and stuff that at the time I'm like a musical, but looking back, I'm like, that was actually pretty cool. And I didn't realize it, but I had music around me. My parents listened to a lot of music. There was music constantly around me, and I had like plastic instruments and stuff. I didn't realize music was as powerful for me as it was. I loved it, and I didn't know why. I didn't care. So I, wound up being in bands and playing guitar and different instruments, and then that merged into becoming a producer and falling in love with the technical side and the recording side and the engineering side of things. That turned into DJing, and then it got to the point where I was, submitting music to record labels and got picked up by some smaller labels, and had the studio. I was running it. I was college found me online, and I was teaching music production online for them and stuff like that. And then I just got to the point where I kind of hit my apex. I felt like I'd been doing it for so long that everything I wanted to achieve, I felt like I had achieved. Like I had this list of things, and these, back then it was business plans and structures and journals and vision boards and all this stuff, right, of all these things. And I'm like, yep, got the record label, have the recording studio, have released music, have played shows. Like everything that I wanted to do, I did to some degree. And it didn't get to the point where it took my life away. I had to sell my soul or anything. It was mine. It was my creation. I loved it. And it was entertainment though. It was, music to dance to, it was music to drive to, music to vibe to, music to mosh to, whatever it was. And it got to the point where I started having these experiences with music to where I was listening to a lot of binaural beats and isochronic tones. In between studio sessions and when I should have been studying for finals, I was, meditating in my room, blissing out on these frequencies, and it started to change my brain. And I started to have like outer body experiences and experiences to where sound alone like shifted my consciousness radically. And I just had this epiphany, like, I don't need to be making pop songs. Like I can still record some pop songs and play them because they're fun to play, but that's not what I'm supposed to be doing with music. So there was just gradual shift from writing songs and being a songwriter and a producer and all these things and having artists on the record label, blah blah blah, to I need to use sound to heal people and restructure DNA and change my own life first and foremost. So that's where it migrated to, and it went from entertainment to entrainment, which is the entraining of the cells of the body, the entraining of the synapses in the brain to fire differently, to wire differently, to program differently based on frequency from the 440 hertz world of, radio, Spotify, over to the 432 hertz world, which goes from a dissonant, non-harmonious frequency creating havoc in the body. We've seen like cymatics where they run sound through water and sand. And then over here to 432, which is harmonizing for the body. So that was my shift, was out of entertainment and ego and creation for me as an artist and a producer, over to creating sounds that harmonize my cells in the body, project those into the field, and are training the cells of the body to return to their natural crystalline structure.
Beautiful.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like what attracted us, because my journey was in body work. So very much tuning in with people. And I always felt myself shifting away from more of the just like, hey, just get a massage for pleasure. You're just like, hey, just get a good deep tissue massage, and looking for like the modalities and the styles that really like helped someone reconnect to themselves. That's where myofascial release like really was just like the next level. It's kind of like it is entrainment. It's just like, oh wait, I can do entrainment with frequencies. I can do an entrainment with touch, and I can actually mix them together. And bringing some of these like really cool devices and things together to really get that multiplicative effect. Because I've been doing my Roxiva Light, which has been amazing. Like I just experienced that as a tool, and that was re-entraining my mind, sharpening my memory, getting those things, as you said, getting those healing frequencies and realizing, wait, these healing frequencies are more than just sound. It's even like the thoughts that we think. And by mixing and putting these things together, it's such a significant shift. It's just like, oh, well, I'm just going to go to talk therapy, or I'm just going to go for a run, as opposed to like, oh, I'm going to go for a run and then have a really good meal. Or I'm going to go to a talk therapist and then I'm going to go do a meditation. So it's like being able to mix these modalities to actually have something be so much more effective. Because what I've found in my work is that I'll be doing one thing and then someone will hit a wall. But then if I have other ways or other things, I can actually help that person through their growth phase, because there's other things, there's other needs or other places that it's like helping the person on their own self-discovery.
It's really important, meeting people where they're at. It's all entrainment too, right? So music can be in training, touch can be in training, and it's that shift mentally. This is kind of the evolution of consciousness and awareness. Like, we live in a world where there's a lot of things that are out there for entertainment. For some people, lymphatic drainage massage could be like entertainment. It could be fun. It could be, like an escape from reality. And if you flip that to, oh, this is entrainment, what you're walking into it is a different intention. This is, oh, I need a distraction for an hour. I want to feel good. I want my body to kind of open up. Or I want to entrain my cells to program different messages. I want my body to calibrate itself differently. I want to be able to have a experience today to where I'm moving energy through my body. So I think this is like the shift, right? Is getting away from these kind of like hedonistic systems and getting more into systems which are holistic and more healthy.
It really sounds that this is like us, or any human being, changing the song they're playing. As opposed to like, oh, I've been playing a heavy metal song for so long, and now I'm going to play like, it's like Enya, or like a really chill, relaxing. It's like, oh, I could live in just like this chaotic, just nails on the chalkboard a little bit, or I could explore these different songs that my whole body can live in. Like my body's a pattern, your body's a song. And what notes are playing within it. And you can change the notes that are playing, and you can change the song that your body is playing and your mind's playing.
Mm-hmm. It's all frequency, right? Mm-hmm. This is the age that we're shifting into. Is, we know by now, even if we don't know a lot about it, we all have heard that like we're sound and vibration, and we're not matter, right? We're oscillating, we're pulsating, we have a frequency, right? So everything is a frequency. Everything has a frequency. And frequency has the ability to shift and change. So, listening to one song has a certain frequency. There's certain emotions that are attached to that, period of life that's attached to that. You change the song, you change the tempo, you change the instruments, you change, the spot you're at in your life, that frequency becomes completely different. So you can listen to a song that you've known for 20 years and have those old memories, and you could like recode new memories to it. right? By listening to it now, feeling the song now. Same thing like switching genres, switching music. Maybe one genre like a heavy metal feels too oppressive, too dark, too angry, whatever it might be, and you switch to something that's more etheric and light, and it changes your emotions. So I think that it's all frequency and energy. Mm-hmm. And if we understand it's all frequency and energy outside and inside, and we realize that we're kind of the conductor, right, of the orchestra that is our lives, the song of our body, we are able to calibrate ourselves to whatever frequencies that we want. Hopefully frequencies that are higher conscious, which are in our benefit.
So in a very just like real life way, I was noticing a frequency that it's like I would go into a meal and the whole goal was to like about the food as opposed to connecting with other human beings. And as I was observing that, I was just like, I was observing the emotions, the frequencies, the feels of that. And then, wait, I want my priority to be the other people around me. That's what I want my priority to be, not the food, not did I order the right dish, am I gonna eat enough? Just like realize it's like, the food actually doesn't matter in this moment. It's the other human beings that I want to connect with. And I think that's the beauty of choice is when we become aware of what our patterns are, we can choose the patterns we want to live in.
Yes.
Like if somebody wants to be totally obsessed with the food and not the people, that's perfectly okay. But then now we have the choice. We have the choice to choose. We have the choice to choose like, oh, I'm going to sit down and have it be about the other person and connecting to the other people and actually like enjoy the meal in front of me instead of being afraid about it. Because when we and that's the funny thing about getting into this work is we realize the funny patterns that we're actually living in.
There's a lot of patterns. It's all patterns, in my opinion. Patterns on top of patterns on top of patterns on top of patterns. And it's really the desire to want to shift those patterns, outgrow the patterns, change the patterns, create new patterns. I'm partial these days to the creation of the new patterns because it automatically erases the old patterns, especially with the new ones. And it's a shift, like you're talking about bigger themes here, right? So you're talking about being centrally focused on yourself, on your hunger maybe, on what you're gonna eat, how it's gonna taste, right? That's a very self-consuming line of thinking, which we all do. We're humans, we eat food. We like to eat certain foods. We get excited about that. Nothing wrong with that. And it's a shift to, wait a second, like this is the kind of the me consciousness, the ego consciousness. What about the other people? What about connection? What about the love? What about the conversation I'll have with people? And that's a different frequency. It's a different focus, right? Different state of awareness. So I would call that a remembering of a higher state of awareness. Right? So you're going from one state of awareness, which is, this is what I'm eating, this is what my body is gonna do, this is how it's gonna taste. It's a very internal, cerebral, sensational experience, kind of like a loop, a pattern you're having like with yourself, and then you shift that focus to people around you, and now you're tapping into collective energy, you're tapping into friendship, you're tapping into sharing and listening, two completely different frequencies, right?
Yeah, it's learning to dance with it. Learning to dance with my own frequencies, learning to dance with my own thing. And that's honestly like the work I see with people as well. It's just like they're stuck in their own frequency. I remember I was working with someone, and after our first session, they came back and they're like, I was actually excited. I was excited for the first time in a really long time. Like they had lost the ability to be connected to their own excited being about something. Because like life had gotten so heavy and they had gotten so tight, they had lost that disconnection from like, oh wait, I'm excited. Something's coming up. The holidays are coming up. Like we've got turkey and we've got Christmas and we've got trick-or-treaters, and just like the joy of being able to be restored to the body was just like a really beautiful thing that happens is when and I think that's what we associate with higher levels of consciousness is like joy, connection, love. You're just like, hey, there's things that are more important than these just like sometimes the quick fix.
Yeah, it's a scale that we create of what's important to us. And I think that as we evolve in life and we ascend higher through becoming more aware, more mature, more conscious, more self-responsible, etc., those things change naturally. What we liked at one stage in our life, generally we outgrow by another stage because it no longer serves us. or we see that this is like a higher path, or we create more joy for it, or it feels better. And again, back to kind of like embodying things, like it's important for us to go through these stages and to feel these things and to embody them and say, oh, who are the people I want around me, and what foods do I want to eat, and what are my lifestyles like, and what am I thinking? Because the thoughts, they're a frequency too. It's all a frequency. So it's like in the quantum field, there are infinite possibilities, all of them just about which you choose to align with. So that's why I love the art of remembering and helping bring value to the concept and the experience of remembering, because it taps into, like, if you want to feel a certain way and you create that feeling inside of you, and then you constantly remember that feeling throughout the day of how that feels, you're going to create different thoughts, and those thoughts are going to then start magnetizing different things to you. So in the realm of frequency, in this quantum realm that we're kind of diving into now, and it's real. We all know it's real. It's a matter of getting beyond the belief of it, not tricking your mind to believe it, but really sinking into becoming, that frequency catalyst to where you can change your thoughts. If you're thinking depressive thoughts, do what you can to learn what you can in that moment of being depressed and switch your thoughts. Don't escape it, don't bypass it, feel it and then transition on to something else, right? So I think that we just have to look at our patterns in our life and say to ourselves, honestly, do I just like this pattern? Is it enjoyable to me? Do I have some kind of addiction to it? Can I change it? Do I want to change it? And if I did change it, what would I change it to? And that process alone will give us the awareness to examine the patterns, feel the patterns, see if they resonate with us or not, which they might one day, and 3 days later they might totally not, and then replacing that with the creation of new patterns. And that's what creates a whole new life.
I find myself, I language that kind of two things is bearing witness and manifesting. Is like we need to we need to bear witness to things, hear it, see it, feel it, experience it. And it's even the same with other people. People want to be seen, felt, heard, experienced. They want to be witnessed. And then the manifestation thing is like, what's the new thing we want to do? Like, what's the new thing we want to switch to? Like that exploration, that creation, that connection to the brand new thing. And so I find when people try to shift from one, try to stay in one or the other, it gets unhealthy. Like on the bearing witness, it just becomes this rumination pattern of reliving the past. Whereas the manifestation can sometimes feel disconnected from reality. But when you mix the two, it becomes such a powerful, potent mix. Because you're just oh, we bore witness and we saw what is around us, and now I can lay in the creation.
Yeah, I think it's important to observe what is and then shift to what is desired, what is needed and wanted to be felt. And getting to feel and experience that without ruminating, without getting lost in an echo tunnel, and doing the appropriate amount of introspection or journaling, or however the process unfolds. For everybody's a little different, right? We're all a little different. And then learning what is meant to be learned through that process, and then the creation, the manifestation, the visualization of whatever needs to evolve, whatever needs to come.
Dope.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, it was awesome chatting with you today, my buddy.
Yeah, bro. You
Yeah.
as well.